Greetings, this is Freenair Renamentra. I welcome you to my recap of Critical Role's four-sided dive, episode 25. I've, I can't really come up with anything clever to say about that, so I'll just say this is Suddenly Samuel is what the official name for it. Tonight we have, as you can see there, our tavern keeper Travis William, along with Matthew Mercer, Taliesin Jeffrey, whose name is ominously in red. It's probably just his cult thing. And Sam Riegel finally returning to the role after his long absence with the tragic loss of his character F.C.G, whose ticker that you can still see there, and apparently battling an illness which I was not aware of. I will have. They didn't. It wasn't until later that they announced what the game of the night will be. So I'll let them explain that later. And at the end of this episode, I'll have an announcement to make.
We have an amazing show for you tonight. All-star Matthew Mercer made us all... oh, sorry. They're writing something on the prompter. Do it more like Robbie. Okay. All-star Matthew Mercer made us all believers with the Bells Hells live show we did at the Greek last month.
Travis,
Yep.
So, like, when we say Robbie, do it more like Robbie, he hosted the show last time with this, like, sing-songy voice. It was really, really cute. Can you do it like that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Taliesin Jaffe got to play Smash Mouth with the Nox engine after the Dominox went to walking on the sun. Kyle, I don't think I can do this.
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong?
I don't know, this Smash Mouth copy is weird and everyone's telling me to be more like Robbie.
Okay, well, first of all, the Smash Mouth copy is perfect, okay? And second of all, we just want you to embody the effortless charm that Robbie had when he hosted. You know, no one is expecting you to be Robbie.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well,
Thank
so
you.
we're going to reset. We're going to do it again. And this time, wear this hat.
Okay.
Okay? Bye. Like that.
Chinny Poc-O-Pea, my little guy got hooked on an animated chain that could not get enough of him, baby. Oh, please, God, end this. What? Who is that? Oh, shit. Oh, Sam.
He's back.
Sam Riegel, it's a miracle. Oh, man, I'm so glad you're back. Oh, you're going to save me from the pressure of hosting Four-Sided Dive? Robbie Davis, handsome channel.
I'm. Hi. You're on your own, pal.
You're here, and the clouds. Oh, come on, come on. Welcome to Four-Sided Dive. Let's do a fucking show. Hi, welcome back. Let's begin the night with our open discussion segment. What the fuck is up with that?
Anyway, yeah. Well, first off, they said before Sam is back. And to start off, and to get back in, we talk about, since we haven't seen since his thoughts on on the loss of his first character, F.C.G. Now, to be fair, there's been preludes to this all along. For instance, Taliesin, Ashton has been kind of predicting something like this would happen, and for a long time. they've been like him sacrifice himself, and they've had the bomb as they'll talk about potentially turning him into a bomb for the longest time. Stuff. They also explain something I did not know, that one reason why they were what reason why he decided to kill off F.C.G was that he was he contracted something, or they explain more later on, which was shocking me. But he had to go into surgery for so. I was like, which was shocking to me because I had heard nothing about this. Originally, they did mention how because they're planning on like temporary like turning stuff, like how he was going to handle Sam's absence, and Matt admits that if they hadn't all survived that, if F.C.G had survived that, it wasn't the sole survivor just ending the campaign, or at least I assume that. Like, if he was the sole survivor, it'd probably be the end of the campaign. Upon leaving, just about when they're about to, he would have had another flare up on Ruis. Matt would have had another flare, and this time it would actually affected F.C.G circuitry, causing him to glitch out and go comatose until Sam could return. But then they were in this. But then they entered this brutal party deathmatch against their old nemesis Odahan Thule, and they're going out like she managed to kill Chetney off in the first round, and then they were just trying to make wild things, trying to keep people up, going after single time. And exalted, critical healing out for her a point, and Matt admits that they were still getting close, and they could potentially won without actually losing anyone permanently. However, that was dependent on them suddenly getting a lot better rolls. And stuff. And they also admit that they could have still won without F.C.G sacrificing, but that doesn't necessarily mean, even if they did it, even if F.C.G survived, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone else would have made it, and he was out of spell and stuff. Plus, they were after this they'd be heading back, so they would have no diamonds, so they could have actually lost more characters if he hadn't done what he did. So it truly was a noble sacrifice. They talk about how many crits were being rolled there, like the number of the stats of it, and also
for her throughout that battle.
Tangent.
Yeah. Oh.
Crits, criticals. Have you rolled less, more, or about the same this campaign compared to previous campaigns?
Well, he has definitely less.
Less. I mean,
Me too.
You used a loaded dice for
The golden snitch.
Yeah.
On the first that legendary.
that was also Percy was also a fighter build, which means I did roll a lot of dice. Although I will say I have definitely not rolled a lot of nat 20s at all.
I think less for me too.
I think I can count on one hand the number of nat 20 attacks I've made this campaign. Like, it's not a lot.
Attack recklessly more, please.
Even then, right? It just feels like it feels
No,
like
it's just
been
like
less, yeah.
I'm like I guess I hit. Yeah, there's a lot of it's been. I'll also say that there are certain builds I get more often than the others, which I find fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Your four.
Yeah, my four barbarian builds.
The fundamental forces.
Yeah, there's one I get very, very often, one I get often, and then two I almost never get.
It's always fun to watch you do that because it's always like you're always like, oh, I really want this one. Nope,
Nope.
didn't get it.
Which is honestly, that's how you wanted
Honestly,
it.
that's actually what I was going for. Was like I was really excited by the notion that I would just be like, well, figure it out, fucker. And I
Yeah.
really, I have sometimes gotten the build I really didn't want, and then somehow made it work really well.
You intentionally came to me for the build on this. Like, I want to make a character that forces me to adapt every time.
I loved it, and I
Yeah.
love it. I'm still every moment, even when I'm like, oh no, this is not helpful at all.
Do you have that golden snitch and stored somewhere behind glass? Or?
No, unfortunately,
What?
he gave it to me at the end of the first campaign, and then someone stole my bag. And so, like that, along with all the dice that I'd collected in there, my signed DMG,
House?
No,
out of my car.
Damn,
Yeah.
somebody got away with fucking heirlooms.
They don't even know what they have.
No, I know. They probably thought it was a
Maybe they do.
laptop, and they're like, "What are these dumb D&D books with a bunch of signatures in it?" Where I had like my signature of the entire Wizards team that they gifted me the first time I went there. Like I had a bunch of good.
Where's the laptop?
Yeah, they're like, "This is bullshit." I threw it in a garbage can, and I'm like, "No." But the snitch was the biggest loss because that was a point of fixed folded time apparently.
Yeah.
An anomaly.
It's a
It's like a
singularity.
vestige.
For sure. But no, I thought that I was very pleased with the way that Fresh Cut Grass died, and it was a very
Yeah, as again, it was a good end for F.C.G. Like, it epitomized his love for the rest of the character. Then they started talking about his new character, Reyes, the Paladin of Asmodeus, not champion. That was made very clear.
Doom Seed.
Doom Seed. What's in a name, Sam Riegel? Oh, new character.
That's right.
Breus.
Doom Seed.
Doom Seed. What's in a name, Sam Riegel?
You know.
Did you use the fantasy name generator on that one?
I will say it's the first name that came into my head. I was like, what does that mean? Wow. Let's find out.
Mr. Doom Seed.
Please, Mr. Doomseed is his father.
Call me Breus. Please walk us through. Walk us through.
Well, I can't. You barely met. You barely met the guy. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, not a full reveal, but tell us, what were your considerations? What did you think about when you were preparing for
Is
the
there any
live
other character types you were thinking of?
Well, I had this idea to be a brain in a jar.
Wait,
What? Steal my idea.
Brain in a jar?
Wait, you came up with that?
No.
Oh.
I have also for years had an idea, Marisha and I have had an idea where I'm a brain in the jar. I'm a brain in a jar who can only cast vocal spells, and she is the barbarian that's holding me.
Yeah, I wanted to do something like that.
I know. I really want to do it at some point, but it'll never happen.
Oh, hold on to it. You never know.
Brain in a jar sounded fun, and then what other?
Like the most fun.
I knew I should probably pick something that healed.
Yeah. Anyway, one quick note on that. When I heard that thing, I was like, so Marisha's and Danny's dream team up D&D characters are Evil and Bosco from the Grim and Evil, Cartoon Network show, which later became The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. If you know that. The hospital I'm kind of saw one there. Anyway, he knows that he didn't. He wanted. He goes into. He thought something that could still heal. After all, they are down their cleric, and but he didn't want to play as a cleric because just too much of a new puppy situation, I guess, and also too more. backstory. And
distinct British accent. but I can't speak very well. I'm still like relearning how to talk and stuff. So it came out just sort of like this. So the next time you see Breas, he might sound totally different.
To be fair, like we had said for his intro, his throat was damaged when we met.
I made that choice that he had just been like stabbed in the throat, and so he was going to sound really haggard and stuff, because I didn't know if I could talk at the show.
Yeah, there was even a chance that you weren't feeling up to going. Like I had to plan 2 different scenarios where Breas wasn't going to be there in case Sam wasn't up for it.
Yeah.
Or
even the night of the show, I was backstage and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. When I talked to Matt initially about the live show, I was like, I really would love to do it. I really want to be there with you guys and in front of the crowd and everything, but I don't know if I will feel up to it. So can you just bring me out for the last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I'll think about it. I think I can do something like that. And then I got to the Greek and you were like, I'm going to bring you out 20 minutes into the game. I was like, oh God. But it was great.
Well, it's like I said, like it was likely going to be a battle for the back half, so you would just like come to your turn.
yeah, basically, he did mention how like he's trying to keep Ola. Well, he is trying to keep This was funny. I had too many clips to include this. But it's kind of he's trying to keep it all secret. But half of Bryce's backstory got leaked because while he was there and he was picking up his notes stuff, it was double-sided, and some text mother effing in the fans. Brendan took the image of it and enhanced, zoomed in. And so half of his stories floated out there on the internet. I haven't tried looking up yet. I have respect and indifference. But yeah, half of it's...
It's not a huge lift. Otherwise, with knowing where it was going, especially with the arrival of Ludinus and the...
Oh, sorry.
So it was so great to be back and to see you guys, and I was in so much pain that night. Oh, buddy. I was on a lot of drugs.
Thanks for not fucking it up. It was amazing. Okay.
Then they talk about his fascination that Reyes had with Tevin, how he seemed to be fanboying over him. I think it's mainly because of it's confirmed he is a worshiper and follower of Asmodeus, and this is like a higher up in the hierarchy, like a legend in the like industry legend or something like that, a company legend. That's what he may say.
And you're horny, literally, and
I'm a horny devil. Yeah.
I can't wait. I want more now.
I think it was that way F.C.G had to go. It was a character that just wasn't quite horny enough for you.
Exactly.
Just bubbling up for too long.
I was blue balling for the whole campaign. I needed something to fuck at.
Yeah.
And now I can. Now I can fuck at everything.
Oh shit.
Danny's moving.
Just getting ready for all of the requests. They're gonna hit my inbox for this.
No, there's some things that I really found that I enjoy doing in these campaigns, and so this is, yeah, I assume towards the end of campaign 3, and I want to do all those things, which is be horny and be charismatic and be hot and be powerful and be a good liar.
I love it.
I can
Hit
do
the
it all.
checklist.
Yeah, buddy.
And you've given the cosplay community a very simple palette to work with.
Exactly.
Yeah, as we call it, very mongrel.
Like as we were getting to certain heavy parts of the story, suddenly like flocks of bats were overhead,
Ooh,
like
yes.
eating.
Cool.
And I was like,
Oh yeah, they mentioned it's like I was like, wait, well, apparently they're bats. I never actually looked up because there was nowhere I could go. But and I was confused with talking about, but later they point out they mentioned this the Greek theater open air. I did not know that, so guess a lot of bats did come out.
fuck, I'm sad I missed that. And also, we probably had to pay extra.
But yeah, I saw people that were up on the sides and in the back. They said when the sun, I guess right when it was going down, all of a sudden these bugs came out, and so they were kind of like, "Oh, this might be a thing." And this swarm of bats came and took them out like it was feeding time. They're like, "This is so on brand, but also what the fuck?" It's just like an aerial fight happening.
I was happy. I think I was happiest because my wife, Cleanne, came to the show.
Yeah.
And
Watched for the first time.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, you can leave, after my entrance or whatever. Just go home. It's fine. And she was like, okay, well, maybe. And she stayed for the whole thing. And I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, it was awesome. Like, she was like, the story was so great. Matt's really good.
I guess you can stay.
She was like, how does he comes up with that on the fly? I'm like, we've been doing this for 10 years. Yes.
Honestly, all I wanted was her approval. So I'm happy now.
She had such a great time. And for the next several days after the show was broadcast or whatever, she turned into like a critter.
Oh?
She was online all the time. She was like, oh, did you see this comment? Did you see what they said on Twitter about you? Did you see this? Did you see this fan art and stuff? And I was like, you're so cute. It's amazing.
I love that.
And now she doesn't care anymore.
Of course. Hey, we got a window.
Yeah.
A wonderful moment we'll clutch for the rest of our lives.
I could be a rock star for my wife for a week.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
I love that.
All right, coming off of Tevin and other devils. Fiendish friends and foes.
Yes, talking about who else showed up. They're talking about something of Trevor and stuff, and especially when they go, especially once they brought up how when they catch up, he said the pack begins, and oh, I forgot there was about that. And matter of fact, couldn't even remember what the pack was. She is now bound to Asmodeus and stuff. So I guess the firm can feel free to go out being Chaos Gambler in his house from now on, because apparently no matter what, because I got a feeling no matter what she does, she is hellbound. Just please tell me the soul doesn't take the spark for that. I do not want anything anything under Asmodeus' command to have that. And they talk to that. Matt mentions the kind of how he kind of trapped himself a little bit. Like he kind of had a fan favorite and very powerful mage, showing away and stuff. They also have somewhere around there, one Lunas. Now he's got another powerful and charismatic NPC, Tevin on the thing. Like now he has got, so he's got to run all these plus the demon in the upcoming fight. They talk about how Matt, for the second time, And one of his characters got the "How do you want to do this?" Like I remember the first time it was like I think they were up against Oban and that Drow assassin, famous Drow assassin, ended up getting the final blow. And he said a things like he did not want to say like, "How do I want this?" To be fair, the audience helped. They had since it was a live show, they had the audience say it. Like that. That was fun. They talk about how then toward they had Luminous suddenly showing up on this and stuff like, and we also gets his honest views of the play. Like he doesn't see them as enemy stuff; he just sees them as misguided, and he wants to show them and the world what it is. They talk more about Dom Knox's how like they know he feeds on insecurities and they're wondering if the change have anything to do with it. Like when they're strung up on the hooks, it helps increase their insecurities. And stuff. He said more like he feeds on. Matt clarifies it's not to do with that. It's more like what he first feeds on their insecurities, and once has full or can no longer get anything from that, then he starts devouring the souls. Also, speaking of souls, we found out that the soul egg with him, like when we got jumped out, we found out how it tethered him. So Matt and goes like more explanation. It's not like it's a set radius, which once you get this, it's more of like an elastic effect. Like there's an elastic tether. It can stretch a bit more, but eventually it's gonna lose footing and. Then we have, and they explain more about how it worked, how Matt had to do some quick things to figure out how it interact with the portal, the gate spell. Like he's technically in the thing now in a new dimension and stuff, even if he's physically not that far away from the sling. But the Slinger is tether and has yet to be destroyed. And, so it should technically go still into, but Matt had to make some decisions there. How it works. Then we get into the cast costumes of the night.
And your RTA butt thing
was a rental. We had to return it.
But
they had it just at Western Costume.
Oh, wow.
They were like, yeah, we got just the
combination
thing.
of letters.
Yep. Yeah. They are huge critters. They were like, we're just preparing for any eventuality, Mr. Willingham. We love that stupid gnome.
No, but really, massive shout out to Manzi, who was sewing the letters of RTA onto the seat of those pants, basically up until
the show itself.
The show.
Wow.
It was incredible. Shout out to both Jenny and Manzi.
Seriously.
I don't know if it was a semi-late note, but I was like, can we just get some iron-on letters for the butt? And Jenny looked at me and she was like, kind of. We'll come up with something. It's like crushed velvet, so if you did, it would just like melt the fabric. So they were in there sewing it in. I was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. It was literally up until the minute before we went on. Like I think we held for a couple minutes because I had to come down with letters on my
I
butt.
kept having to give updates of like, nope, Travis is still in wardrobe.
I'm the problem.
Still in wardrobe. Nope.
I'm the
And
problem.
3 more minutes.
I missed all of that. I was asleep.
Were you? You were?
I fell asleep 10 minutes before the show started, and I slept a half
One
hour.
of those nice air-conditioned rooms.
No, just like where the makeup was.
Oh yeah,
Did somebody come wake you up and be like, "You're on stage now"?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
they,
shit.
They came on. They woke me up and they're like, "You have to get in costume now because it's time." But yeah, I was on so many drugs that I was just like,
Oh man,
Oh, buddy.
never know it.
Man.
Speaking of drugs, the visions.
Speaking of drugs,
Was that like?
Oh yeah, so yeah, one thing that's really good on one thing that's kind of haunting even Travis as a player, not just his character. Were those visions just lies to get in there, or were those actually suppressed memories brought up to hurt him? And Matt's informed answer: you don't know. Also, because they had to make saves against this, and they wonder how much does how you roll affect how badly it is, or is it just for person to person? And he says kind of both, but the answer is both, but it's more based on what the individual person what they're. Mhm. And then, of course, Matt does admit though that for that he won't say whether or not it did happen or not, but it's likely not that it happened. It's likely that it didn't happen because he does remember when he had those when he was still trying to control it and had control. He was in a region very very sparsely populated and stuff like. Maybe some animals got it, but it's unlikely that he was able to find even a large that region even had enough children that he was able to get to that many children in that amount of time. So odds are it is just a fabrication. Then they go into to what was Ludinus's objective in Aeor, the occultist Thalamus. It is just the way Matt described it, it's sort of like a magical black box for the city, like storing like their knowledge and stuff, and essence for future generations to find. It said it's interesting to note though that occult. I mean, according to Matt, though, this was originally a modified purpose, like something that they kind of MacGyver and stuff as the rest of the city became greater. But the original purpose of the occult asylum was surveillance. Well, not at the very end. It was definitely toward like getting close to the end when the thalamus was originally created. Uh, and they explain what one reason why attracted the attention of the gods first was that they're sort of omnipresent, omnipotent, slight level high levels on omnipotent and could see into stuff, but AR being not trusting and hating the deities created wards to use against them to defend, including ones to prevent them from looking in. But unfortunately, that's what brought the ironically, because suddenly there was a part of the world they could that neither prime deity nor paternal god could perceive, and they thought it was a threat. For all they know, it could have been a plot by one of the by opposing immortal. So it attracted. Eventually, one of the gods did go and check out what's there and see, and that started kind of, the basically getting close was and was somewhat raised the alarm that they had all these things specifically designed to use against gods or something like that. Not very clear, but of course they're trying to be inclusively made because, uh, as being portrayed later tonight, we'll be learning all about this in Downfall. And they start asking what Ludinus's focus with the Thomas is like. What specific memory or recording is he looking into?
But that's
Well, if he's looking specifically at the end of Aor, is there someone that he's trying to focus in on? Or is it
Could
just some spell, like the divine repelling magic? Or
Some.
Buddy. But like, is there?
Keeping it in theme today.
jerk. Goddamn it. I'd finally purged.
But if there,
Matt goes into the as they talk more about the focus. Matt says that he's going for a specific thing, so he may have not reviewed all the information of the thalamus, but looking for something specifically, and it means he could miss some. I will say though that keep in mind we already know that aside that you, regardless of what you think of the god stuff and what their actions is, AR was already into some shady things because of we don't know what's happened to the Cognosa Ward. Also, thanks to the first Calamity, a special, we also know that even before Calamity started and the gods started fighting, they had already recently attacked another flying Majocracy. So they're not into this, and it might be interesting, to see if Ludinus can, if Ludinus might be successful in converting people as these things, because he might get his knowledge, but he himself, as a major something, might be blinded to the views of others, like he just sees Gora stuff. He doesn't see the corruption that it was caused from it. That's my personal view. He may not stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There. See? Oh, they talk about how long they've been planning for the Downfall special, and stuff. And according to him, it's been in the works since January. Long time plan. Wow.
Prompted the projector screen. They have the footage of it, and when he sat down with the makeup and just looked up right at the camera, I was like, "Oh, that's rad!" It was great. It was great.
He came up to me and was like, "I'm cosplaying as a camera," and I was like, "Everyone's gonna get that." That will require no explanation.
Is that the flare on his forehead? A little camera flare?
It's fucking perfect.
I love it. I love it.
I can't wait to see where it goes. Only if to get more sweet extended Exandria lore. Yeah. That's just like
it's a part of
the
history.
buffet grows.
Yeah. Yeah. They also start talking about how each campaign has its own portrayal of the deities or stuff first one, like not all the not of Voxwalker were like the gods, but and some of them have longer. They all have this kind of awe and respect for them. Then we get to campaign 2, where we have audience stuff and stuff, and this creates this more casual relationship and view of the deities. And then we got this one, which is far more questioning whether or not whether or not the deities are helpful at all, or should they even be around? Mhm.
The corresponding fan question, and we each give our own.
Sorry.
Oh yes. Start now. We get to the Tower of Inquiry.
Answer. Oh yeah, sorry. We were
What
saying
happened?
I got fully attached to my chair.
I get attached to my furniture too.
Oh, Danny.
And if for some reason the tower should fall, the person responsible will be forced to do a hyper-specific celebrity impression for the entirety of the C block. Oh my God! Blame Matthew Mercer for not believing in life after love.
One of the worst moments of my entire life.
Sam, honors to you.
Welcome
Yes.
back.
Welcome.
Okay, and he successfully pulled for the tower, number 51. If you were in like a high mage or archmage or some sort of like hello mage AR, what would you have been creating or experimenting on? And what would have happened to it? Like, once AR fell, and would it still be around today? Tra says he would want to create this giant toad that launches these blue globules of time pausing material, like trying to create an explanation for all the domes, those blue domes. Sam has a time spot, so
Legs
Gonna
of a
negate
pony.
some things.
Yep, I'm just making the answer right now.
You can make anything?
That's
Yeah.
the question, yeah.
Powerful archmage.
I mean, like Netflix? No, I don't know. I'd make
You would
Netflix.
disrupt the entertainment industry in AOR?
Yeah. I can get any movie I want when I want it.
That's not Netflix anymore,
I want
babe.
people to take my platform and chill.
Allison, what you got?
Up until that point, they had to teleport little discs to your house.
Yeah, they made a transition it
Sometimes
over.
was really-
send it back.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole invocation.
Wow, that was-
You're really.
The frustrating thing is you can only watch 20 words at a time.
I mean, knowing too.
Tao would actually make the meal substitutes, like stuff like you would see on Ash on eat while on duty. Not necessarily like the bland stuff like that. Well, like, include quality things and good flavoring and stuff too. Though. Matt will create this creature or monstrosity which with anti-arcane tracking abilities like track myself and anti-magic and with anti-magic other anti-magic like to use on rival mages for his position and stuff, like, which goes to show you a good point, like here's stuff like how showing the world the recorded era may not to be as swinging though as many people as Lunas thinks, because according to this, like this was like common practice just to assassinate take out a rival there. Like, like these were not saints. These were like people trying to get to the top. Like, and biggest problem with the gods is probably that they're the ones at the top and they're so hard to take down. Then Townsend added his own an additional choice for him: a magical vacation home to avoid all the assassins. Matt gets another poll.
Created a magic vacation home so I wasn't there when everything went down.
Also viable.
Thank you. Nice lake house.
Very good.
Arcane lake house.
That was good, Matt. You should start a campaign. And because that was such a good answer, you can go pick from the tower.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Don't break this one.
Did you break the last one?
Yeah, I did. And I still wake up in cold sweat.
Careful. Careful.
These towers, they're like my worst nightmare. I don't like it.
Yeah, I got you. It's like
That and jazz.
sticky.
I swear
No, it's
we
just
didn't
tension.
do it again.
No, it's just the
Contour?
tension.
No.
Matt.
Did it almost happen again?
There's been one block, Matt. One block.
What did I say?
40.
Next question deals with making character, how to make sure they have like motivation to continue on with the quest. Like like you don't have well-adjusted people on quests. Not long-term stuff. Like one shot, maybe like stuff. No, there's something tragic stuff. Like you can't just have them say, wife, kids, all stuff like that. I'm going to go on 100 adventures and maybe get back in these adventures. And not ones, and these aren't like vacations and stuff. These are like you could die on these. I said, also asked like, have any of your characters gotten close to deciding to just quit and stuff? And with Sam says, all of them, all the time. Like they like a lot of times you'll get like if you could like them like drawn back home, which is keeping them away, that could get resolved, and now they have less motivation to continue like them. And as he said, he's had all his characters kind of had something that reason that they could just stop quest their adventures. Scanlan actually did quest because to try to be with his daughter. You know, get too close to his daughter. And rejoin, though he did rejoin stuff. Tyrion eventually comes to maybe not reconciles, but comes to terms with his family and stuff like that. Not slash Veth. What she became Veth again, had her family go back to the point that in the second one shot post campaign one shot for the Mighty Nine, she actually refused to go on. And as I said, it's what it was like before the adventuring.
And it's so hard. All my characters want to leave.
Scanlan wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Terry resolved his shit.
Yeah, not wanted to go back to her family.
Totally changed, wanted to go back.
I mean,
Put herself in harm's way.
Fresh Cut Grass wanted to make amends with Dancer and stuff, but if the Changebringer had been more available to Fresh Cut Grass, I don't know, maybe he would have been like, peace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go join a temple.
Yeah.
Obby the Rat was fulfilled very quickly.
Yeah. Backstory.
Deep cut. Deep cut.
Hobby reference.
Yeah.
No, it's
Year
hard,
of
it's
our
hard to
Lord
make
2024.
Yeah.
a fully formed, realistic character who just wants to go around killing people for 3 years.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah, basically, the way to get long-term characters is to create broken characters. And
Character fulfillment, which is kind of fun.
One of my early builds before campaign 3 was I was trying to make a joke out of having a character that was in a happy marriage that had kids that were healthy and had left the roost. He had everything that he wanted. It was not troubled or damaged in any way. It lasted less than 3 days. So, like I started writing, I was like, God, I hate this guy. I can't relate to this
Just
at
get a
all.
hobby or something. What's wrong with you?
First game of the campaign, he's like, you know what, guys, I was wrong. I'm gonna go home.
Yep.
Have fun.
This is uncomfortable. I think I'm going to go back to my bed. See ya.
I really miss fresh coffee. Bye. Yeah, that's kind of the challenge of the GM for long form campaigns is to make sure that you can at least build stories that keep the players engaged.
yeah, keep the and yeah, well, terms they did talk about more like characters almost like they mentioned how Matt mentions how like midway maybe for along that through campaign 2, Caleb will Liam was thinking of having Caleb leave the team.
All right.
Yeah, one thing, yeah, and he also mentioned how just checking. Oh,
Caleb almost left the Mighty Nine partway into campaign 2. Like he was like, Caleb wants to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you want him to go, you can. You can make a new character, and he's off in the world, which means he's mine.
Yeah. Give him to me.
Yeah. And I started.
Liam was like, well, then no, he's not going to go.
I mean, that might have been actually how it went. But he was thinking up like other alternative characters, and then like some conversations in game kind of turned him around, and he ended up like making amends with some of that tension in the group.
That's why I love making a carny. Is I love a character with Wanderlust. They're like, are you going to settle down? This is settled down. Like this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Is sadly, but inevitably was travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why stop?
yeah. Matt mentioned though if Liam had Caleb left the group, he would have just been out. And he said like if he considered, he said if he didn't, one thing he might consider is like take over and having Ing. Oh, what the frick is the name of? Of course. It's not fully figured out. Is that what was his name? What was his name? His mentor and stuff. What was his name? Trent Ixon would have may have actually come. He like if he left, having Trent find him again, and maybe a kind of force or persuade into becoming once again what's it called? One of those assassin mage things. And the guy said, like, which means he would come back as a villain later on in the campaign. It's like, oi. hmm Then we get into deep dive. Start with Taliesin having the first poll and having to talk about the F.C.G vision.
Dominox, is there any truth to the insecurity around that death that Dominox foisted upon him? Oh boy. So
Yeah, hit us. I feel like an ass. I didn't ask you about your vision.
no,
Terrible friend.
I knew we'd get there.
I was gonna say it.
Fuck.
I know. I don't hold it against you because I'm a good friend.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Now he explains like Ashton has. This is not the first time Ashton has experienced a friend's death. So he's a bit more mentions once again how Ashton has been calling this since early on in campaign 3. So deep down, he feels like he wondering if he could have done more or something. If there was something else he could have done. And 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 he pointed out, and this is something you do notice, like halfway through his vision, like he's like, this dude tried everything. Halfway through, he starts venting, and he's not actually talking. He's actually talking to F.C.G. like the way he's talking, like you little jackass. Yeah, you could hear like when he said, "You child." So he kind of vented there. Next one was a pull from Travis, but it was for Travis and Townsend. Uh, Talking about Swordgate again, because they didn't have characters there. And what their character thoughts are like. For I forget who said what. One of them talk about they understand like pursuing power right now, especially with the stakes so high, like where they can find it. Where Ashton, I think this was specifically checking out. Ashton, Sora also getting where Lana is coming from this, and Sora's siding more with her on this. There, so one thing I do want to do have later on, like if well, should Lana try to expand on our deal with Lana and stuff like. I want if the group ran out before the and like Orm to actually said, mentioned his deal with Nanamori like I uh, uh, I for I sort of if it's given the power to get everyone home safely, but F.C.G ended up still dying and stuff. So before you make it, keep in mind just because they give you things doesn't mean it'll actually help. And she and point out the Lyle doesn't seem like the person who give returns if not completely satisfied. So I want that conversation to happen, like a good thing, like it gets them to call a bonding moment, and it's a good wake up call. Like, yes, you need power, strong and stuff. Keep in mind, even if you get it, doesn't if it comes at a cost, keep in mind it doesn't getting this stuff doesn't automatically mean you automatically win. Uh, And Matt pulled one that said, "How was it getting his? How do you want to do it as a good creator?" He focused since he's already talking about how I want to do it, he's focused on about performing as a Greek creator, which he's been doing as a kid, like all the different shows. So I didn't list them all. I didn't list them to make me. Now it's interesting being now part of the show.
Yeah.
And then having all the energy of the audience there. Everyone was so excited, even mid-afternoon when it was way too hot, and we were all like, "Hey, we're so sorry." Yay, open air. It gets better as it goes on.
Yeah.
But like everyone was still so excited and so sweet, and yeah, it
You
was.
gotta love the
crazy.
wisdom of the audience. We were like, "You guys are hydrating, right?" Half the audience just held up a beer.
Like, I mean, same.
Like, water also, please. But okay.
No, it was incredible, and like a lot of things culminated there beyond just like the history. Like getting to finally do a Bell's Hells live show, like in canon, which we haven't done yet with this campaign, coming off of the whole, you know, the terrors of the mid-pandemic. And then having you finally come back on stage with us was incredible. Getting to bring Robbie into this live show experience was wild. He's always phenomenal, but like, yeah.
I loved his entrance where he came out and he was like, "I don't know what to do. I'm going to play a flute," because he's a bard.
Which is when I knew he's one of us.
Yep.
I don't know what's
like. Yeah,
I loved his entrance where he came out and he was like, "I don't know what to do. I'm going to play a flute," because he's a bard.
Which is when I knew he's one of us.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yep. There is no more Critical Rolecast experience than, why am I here?
What is
How does this relate to the sponsor on any of it?
It was great. Tim.
Okay.
This one, Sam, is a Bray's question.
Well,
Oh, nice. And then you just pick one?
How does this relate to the sponsor on any of it?
It was great. Tim.
Okay.
Oh, nice. And then you just pick one?
Sure.
Dig it.
What was the inspiration for Breas?
Oh, that I forgot the end of that. There, he talked about that. He originally, one thing he was planning originally was, instead of having this new character, bring back an old character like Tyrion or Scanlan and stuff. It stuff. Even mentioned briefly how he could, because they'd come back as this more warm weather Piercy like for one last mission, come back that's like, except that we've already had Matt play him this thing, and that curious enough, I watched a video where someone was predicted he would try to actually, predicted he would try to play an old character and stuff. In the comments, and I kind of thought my theory was that he would actually, if he does that, he's not coming back. He's gonna try to troll and not come back as his own character, but as someone else's character. Right? I didn't think he'd go. Personally, I was expecting Grok. I honestly was like. Then he talks about how he's interested in playing an actually evil character. Like this is the first like main cast character to be legitimately evil. Like they've had ones that tipped the line, and then we've had like side characters who are legitimately evil, like Archon. Well, like Archon in like at the end of Campaign 1 and stuff. But this is the first like main campaign main character to be have actually evil element. Though so far he's just been seeing porn in the main character. I will say though that they did say jokingly say that in order for that to be able, to, he's got to like kill like half the cast and stuff. Like, problem is, I can legitimately see him turning on the cast later on and try to kill her. If only because right now he's level 14. He's technically got a level above. We've only seen like main like characters like player characters with who levels above the make it twice in this campaign so far. Once was Bertrand, who was clearly never meant to survive and to be killed off, and then next was like you, who was ended up being a changeling. So they still have to deal with that with this unsealed court and breaking a pact with them. Like they've made an agreement with them. They have not honored that agreement, and it's kind of too late. It's been a long time. They've got a bounty on their heads at this point. A Fey bounty. They're talking about like what is if he's an evil like an evil paladin, like who opens up, who's doing it, but is doing good and stuff. Like, would that make him like a oath breaker or something? Which also led to Matt's thoughts on it. The oath breaker still needing little work, like. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then they talk more about I guess it's something to do with task. Talk about like having Exec and Donna. There and specifically like his interactions with Essex.
I mean, I do too, but like, self-discovery and some a little bit of understanding about what the hell is happening inside them is definitely, I guess it's the Exandrian version of like, I have healthcare. Wait a minute, I have all this shit I need to check out. Am I okay? I'm gonna just get this as far as I can.
This thing that keeps happening to me has a name.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't care if you can't fix it. It has a name.
That's very real.
And there, I mean, like, and
like his own that way.
There was this. I mean, the characters began at a very, very specific.
Yeah, probably so. They're talking more about Essex fascination. Like, Essex is someone who specifically is well studied in the field of dunamancy. Like a lot of his primary field studies of stuff. He knows a lot about that stuff. This is the first time seeing anything like Ashton, and like it's like he's an anomaly. Big interest one.
It's just a thing that could just
being a volatility.
So just don't think about it, because that's just existential dread.
Yeah.
So
well, you are by nature. Ashton is a being of volatility, both persona and your physical makeup right now. You are ancient primordial Titan element. Dunamancy.
Fern without the charm. Yeah, no, aware. That's a manga-ish.
That's it. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
It's very like, I have made this decision. It seemed like the good idea at the time.
The two of you are a dangerous pair.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Like when the two of you making decisions together,
it
like,
always goes poorly.
This
It is actually
poorly.
attracted. It always goes poorly.
It's great. It's great.
I'm attracted.
Like, yeah, we should do this.
Yeah, we got my.
And then we get Travis. He pulls one that asks whether or not Fish is real and not stuff. He says at this point he doesn't think so and stuff, but mainly because they were talking about this earlier the episode, and Matt points out that Matt points out that the area was kind of sparsely predated to have that many kids down. and no one knows about. So that's it. So he ends up playing another one because he's already answered and asks for Justin, what's it like to be an AR back in AR, being a lore hound, as they say. He's loving everything, like the giant hammer wielding creature, the grand demon, fight Luz and stuff. Did ask Matt like how he can keep the lid on all these things, like like him and stuff. Like Matt does mention he has some good docs and stuff that keep everything in track and stuff, but then Matt, that question, what was like having to summon in Tevon there, like this, he said it was interesting because he forgot all about that pack and stuff. Like, then they pointed out, I was like, oh yeah, they have this. Oh boy, now, they call him. They won't call us that. Oh, they're calling him now. Oh shit. Oh shoot. To be fair, they all forgot like the about details of that at that point. He mentions how Fern is spread thin across the factions.
Mindsets and perspectives, and I'm excited to see where that'll go.
The Fae, the Prime Material Plane, the Hells. Yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah,
This could go full John Constantine.
I'm obsessed
You know
with
exactly
Fern
what I mean by that
Constantine.
too. Just like, well, none of us really know what to do with this anymore. You're just a
Literally
mess.
Just Garthen as Constantine, and I am so living.
You know who they're talking about.
My forever.
No, I don't.
Yay, comic book nerd. Anybody who reads comic books currently in the audience knows what we're talking about.
Fair.
Watch here.
Breas is clearly very interested in romance.
Wow. Look at the patience.
Well
The
played.
patience.
Wow.
He's back, baby.
What a wonderful
Whoa. Look at the
I haven't thought about that in a long
man.
time.
That is
I'm
great.
proud of that shit.
As you should.
That-
I still that.
That's that
you know, I was
Garen?
happy I was able to reprise him all these years later. It took so much time to get the green makeup out of every nook and cranny after each shoot day.
Still finds it.
Talk about patience.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Good job.
I had to feel
That was
immersed.
good.
Sam, Breas is very interested in romance, judging by his flirtation with nearly everyone in the group. What does he look for in a partner? What would he write on his dating profile?
Oh, I actually am curious about this.
He's really good with anyone. But there are some things like art and stuff. Like he's also into art, so finding someone to share that interest would be nice.
Painting. He's tall. He's furry.
Oh no!
Is it a full coat of fur different lengths, or is there some no fur spot?
No, I think he's head to toe fur.
All over.
Yeah.
Just like thin in the face, so it's the
Yeah,
more
it's just
humanoid features.
short hair.
Yeah.
Shorter in the face.
And then like goat texture? Is it like stiff fur or is it more
really haven't
soft?
thought about
Horse
that.
hair?
I'm putting that out there.
Maybe he's furry everywhere, but he manscapes just. He's totally shorn.
Oh no!
Anything else he does his butt too.
No, clearly.
Are you manscaping in hell?
Oh no!
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to be ready when opportunity strikes. Portion favors the prepared.
It just looks like that bad monkey face Jesus painting, but like right there. Oh no!
I think he's looking.
He also would like another fellow devil worshiper. So doesn't want to bury out the faith. Someone also like him who's not colorful.
probably be getting some food from a trough. I don't know how minotaurs work.
You have a human face.
Yes, bulls eat from a trough.
And
Not a truck bed, not a hay bale.
I'm going to see the movie 8 Seconds, starring Luke Perry, which is his bull riding
bull riding
movie.
Oh, mid-90s.
Oh my god!
Wow,
What
8
the fuck?
seconds. Holy shit. I saw that on like a bus trip in middle school. That's crazy.
I'm so happy.
Airplane, a bus.
Wow. Yeah, it was a bus. I remember it.
I'm so happy to explore more with this character.
Seconds. He saw the bull references. He could pull. It's very impressive.
And he spent.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yep. That's it. He watches Night Court.
Hey.
Because there's a character named Bull.
Correct.
There we go.
Well done.
Huge Dragon Age.
Michael
inclusion.
Jordan.
my
is his
God.
favorite athlete.
He doesn't play movies.
Yeah, thank you. I got the sports ones. Oh, we needed this. Allison, help.
Okay. Yeah. No. Let's end this.
Night Court reference.
Yeah. Well done.
Wow. I just turned to ash at the
Night
table.
Court's back on TV.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
There's a new Night Court.
Ashton has utilized the new rock form a few times now. What's it like to explore that form? Is it worth the exhaustion?
Kind of a low question. It's cool to be in the form, but it takes 2 points of exhaustion. Like just 2 points. Does a lot. Hamper his character and stuff. Meaning, if he has to do it 3 times without reducing exhaustion, once he has the 3rd time, he is done. Like, they've said like 7 levels up. I did not right. So I did look up. It is 6. Like on the 6th one, your 6th level exhaustion, you are straight up. Thankfully, you could it can't be mitigated with greater restoration spells, but they did just lose their cleric, so that's hard. Fern does have a druid, but unfortunately she also has summer power, and it's a fairly high level magic, so if they both build up too much, they're in trouble.
Whoever gets the most exhausted.
Yeah.
We can exhaust that character.
That's true.
We should have like a side bet. Who can get further down the exhaustion hole faster?
It's
We
a
could do
wonderful. Oh,
We really
Lord,
could.
no,
Whoever gets
no.
the most exhausted in this campaign gets like $10.
And the pot grows every episode.
Ooh.
That's pretty great. Yeah. I think at 5 points, it actually affects your FICO score. Like it gets real rough in the lower points.
If you're watching this and you're like, well, if I get the FICO score, don't worry. You'll care at some point.
At one point in your life.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like
Go to
it's-
get a lift, and the guy's like, I can't pick you up. You're exhausted.
Sorry.
Like, hold on. A cat's great restoration. Okay, we're good. Come on.
Mm-hmm. They mention how expensive his character is. Like that's a lot of gold worth a diamond. Though they do mention now that they could do it now, with the situation so dire. Like this is like a global effort and stuff. Like no one's splitting hair or stuff over going to a budget. Like they mentioned how they got a good chunk of money through 3 or 4 perp. And Matt mentioned they could have gotten so much more right now. Like they could have gotten actually like hundreds of thousands gold, 100,000 gold or something like eventually, because like they need stuff getting done. Otherwise, the world is in trouble. So. Then they entered the speed round. Chet on. Basically, Travis asked how Chet feels about having Dorian back and having Bruno up. Apparently loves it. Both of them, like, warmed to Dorian and this and just fun. Matt, this is something I was also myself curious about. As it went on, I was like thinking more alive, but I did want to cover. They did ask well, Dominox's claims like in different versions, like how the souls of the dead were now tethered to the soul anchor because of the and how the story this. He confirms outright that that was a lie. Like nothing like this, which is good to know. Like kind of easy to figure out it's a lie, but then again, weird stuff's happening, so you got a question. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They asked, like, despite him having lay on hand, Sans asked, well, despite having lay on hands, why Braze was still injured and stuff there. He explains that it was very recent wounding. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, his character thought, like, they're not, like, outright enemies, but maybe not friends. And it's like having to come along to make us less of a threat and less likely to be attacked, and it might endear themselves. Townsend, and Townsend, this one was talking about Ash and Chetney's thoughts on Rudis. I think Ash is, and I quote, the F. Paraphrase that, but it's more censored. But Chetney's kind of wondering, since he knows how Rudis was made and stuff, wondering what part of Xander did the material for Rudis come from, like ocean stuff, because clearly whatever part of it had a life which managed to survive the ground they're on, literally showering up and shooting attempts into the sky, like not without dying. Then go Travis on what was it like for Chetney to be connected to the Weave Mind again, like find out that they connected him once and I think he just made jokes about how, of course, they go for him. He's the leader. So, Matt, they asked Matt, like, is he excited about letting someone else DM downfall? Like, and yes, he is. So, yeah. He mentions also how this will be like this whole 3-part special is going to be like basically on recordings that are being shown to the Bell Cells right now, and how the files may have recorded more recorded than what was expected.
Series than maybe is anticipated. That's all it is.
And Ludinus is sitting us down to watch this with him, right?
Yeah. He's literally like, I want to show you something.
Is this like when I
There are concessions.
tell my kids, like, hey, let's watch a movie that I loved as a kid?
That's exactly.
And I put on Short Circuit, and I'm like, uh-oh.
No. Back up.
He should not be playing that part. Don't. Oh.
Fucking Short Circuit.
Did that really happen?
Johnny Five.
You know what? Let's
no.
watch something else.
Yeah.
I
Back
have
in
not-
me. Yeah.
I have not watched.
Don't.
Mac and Me's a classic.
I love it. Yeah.
One thing they also they go more into discussion, like let's talk about like how it was this for them seeing all the tributes to F.C.G on the internet on Paramount and stuff, like for him it's very touching. Townsend Ashton's knuckle session with Fern. It seemed kind of cute and stuff, but he doesn't really find it that precious stuff. He's just trying to stuff. And he's talking about what he considers our relationship. Back to the tower inquiry. Travis falls at 45. What was something that was? They talk about like he asked like what aspect of their characters was they're not expecting to develop more or introduce. For Sam, F.C.G. A conspiracy theories. Travis mentioned how he always figured legacy would be a big thing for him, but now it's like getting over his head and becoming more. And delusions of grandeur.
Exploring that.
Where he's like slowly carved his name and put a stamp on every single piece of furniture that's ever had any significance in Exandrian history.
I'm just saying, his initials are all fucking over Aor right now.
Yeah. Aor!
He's just been grinding into the metal with that chisel.
Oh my God.
C-pop, what does it need?
It's been around for centuries.
That is
You're just what is it? What was the
Luna's not the only 1,000-year-old.
shit? The like Ripley was here or something. You know what I'm talking about? Travis.
Yes.
It was like a famous graffiti that was like all over the place.
Yes, 100%.
Next block.
Who wants to pull?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's still go. Oh,
None of us.
pull?
Do. Pick one.
Sam and Matt, Boulder Parchment shoot.
On three?
After 3.
After three, okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot. You win.
All
Good.
right.
So I go.
Yeah, you got you can outline those.
You win, so you pick. I guess we should have. I mean, it's assumed.
All right.
Yeah, you
All
got
right.
the shitty-
Oh, boy. This one's already sort of out. Oh boy.
Never
Touch
hit
it. You
that
have to do it.
No, I don't know. Are those the rules?
If you move it, you got to keep pulling it.
Wow.
Boy.
Righty.
Oh,
Dude, I'm sorry. I really cheesed that
oh
one.
boy.
From Astrid.Beck on Tumblr.
Oh, she was on the show.
Many of the previous player characters have returned as NPCs in Campaign 3. If you could take over any NPC to revive as a player character, who would it be?
Oh,
NPC.
I almost did this.
Yeah, you almost literally
What
did
was the
this.
one I almost picked?
You almost picked Darrow.
Dara.
I forget who that was. For Travis, he picked Bolo from the EXU Calamity. For all we know, she's still around. We never exclaimed her. For all we know, she's a robot, an android. Townsend would like to be as Calliope Clay, or any of the Clay fans, but specifically Calliope. Sam,
Features.
Yeah. It's not an NPC, but I briefly, when I was discussing and debating who this new character should be, I briefly thought, wouldn't it be fun if I came back as Percy DeRollo? As an older...
We had this idle conversation.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
If I came back as like a grizzled old Percy DeRollo who's just suiting up for one more mission.
And then Towson said,
I said
absolutely not.
Well, I said no. I did think about it because it seemed like honestly because I couldn't quite say no to you yet. I had to try. You're in that
I
place.
had cancer.
Yes.
kind of disturbing that that's supposed to.
Couldn't say no outright. I said I'd think about it. Thank you. and while we inevitably landed on no, I will admit I also was like, I want to see your. I'm so curious about your take. I want did you have an idea? Was it like how weird would it have been? But no.
Weird.
That would be a fun one shot though, to do like a body switching episode where everybody has to play.
We've been talking about that for a long time. Once again, maybe another one shot in the future would be fun.
You know, it was cool. Although,
Love a body switch episode.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Tell us, and that leaves you. Go.
Oh God damn it! I thought I'd get away with it.
Because it makes me laugh. Leviticus Yeticus from the Beacon Discord server. Hey Uso fan out here. If you could adapt any game / book / movie / franchise, etc. into a tabletop RPG, which one would you pick and why?
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Wicked and Divine.
Oh yeah.
Encyclopedia Brown.
Ooh.
Good one.
Deep cut.
Well, no, I mean, because you could do Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew. There's like a whole. You could just make the Encyclopedia universe right there.
That was the main reason I went to the library back in the day. Yeah. All those books.
Love.
I think Lord of the Rings, because you could have dwarves and gnomes and halflings and people with swords and magic.
That I can slap him now. Okay, it's another week or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long window.
Oh man. That's a tough one. Like I'm sure there's a better choice, but like my brain first went to like the Fate series, the Fate anime.
Oh.
Because you have magicians, you have people like mages with power, and then you have these historical.
Yeah. I'd say it would be hard to translate anime stuff into a go because a lot of times the power scaling on animes is ridiculous.
Powerful entities that are bound to them that they like use to fight each other. Kind of also kind of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of stand like, but very like dark and intense. Fate Zero specifically, which is the one that I worked on, where like my heart kind of sits in that series, would make for some really interesting. Where like you're also trying to keep these things hidden from the modern world. Was these mage battles are like secret and playing for the Holy Grail and all that kind of fun stuff. That'd be a really really fun series. The one might even exist that I'm unaware of.
I would do Full Metal Alchemist.
Good choice too. Yeah.
You've got alchemy. You've got different kinds of soldiers. You've also got lay people. You've also got the you've also got the mechanics and the automail engineers.
Yeah.
So much rich history.
That would be
Solid.
It's a lot of good anime choices actually.
Yeah. Good ones.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Great job.
Anybody else pulling or?
No, I mean I just want the music RPG. I love the idea of making RPGs with playlists. Wicked and Divine is all music, and it's also the phonogram, which is adjacent to that has like music, magical music powers and things like that. Like there's magic DJs and shit like that. And I think it would be really interesting to like have a tabletop game where actually like even such a thing as being the person in charge of the soundtrack can actually use like the music playing in the room to actually affect the game. Like I don't know, throwing it out there. I'm into it.
Cool.
Oh, we just brainstormed a bunch of new stuff.
I know.
And another thing.
Thank you, Ad Dubs, Astrid Beck, and Leviticus Yeticus. If you have a question for our Tower of Inquiry, you can enter it at critroll.com/tower. And that is it for this portion of the Four-Sided Dive. For our podcast listeners or those of you watching this as a VOD, we will see you next month. But please make sure you check out more Sided Dive because, yeah, it does, right? More Sided Dive. When we come back from break, we will be playing Roll For It.
Whoa.
It's basically rolling.
Oh, okay.
So just come back and watch it. You'll like it. We'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, now this is where I would normally go and play highlights of that game, but I haven't actually finished watching that part. For my it's just like rolling to try and match some cards on numbers and stuff. Get it? And they're trying to add story elements to it, but it's just kind of a little confusing. So and therefore it's hard to also determine what would be considered a highlight, and without getting ridiculous number of clips, which may or may not have happened in the past. I will say on that last set question, like Francis, I was so excited when I heard that because I myself, and I've talked about it in my videos, how I had kind of come up with an idea for one, have a franchise I want to could translate it into a tabletop RPG, which is Transformers. I was like, I had such a good one, and Riesel because Hasbro, because Wizard Coast is a subsidiary of Hasbro, the makers of Transformers. So it's really like I even came up with a cool name, like cool reference to G1, like the battle cry before roll out, which would be far better, like for considering the context in a game where this, I was like, oh, good name. I hear like I was thinking of that's what they talk about and now they'll go after come back. We'll be playing a game called Roll for It. I was like, what? The name of my Transformers game is Transformers Roll for It. Are you saying that name is actually not available? So, as for confusion and a little bit of spite, I will not be, since I do not have time to watch watch all that game. I am not going to do a recap of that, but I will at least follow a link in the description so you can watch it for yourself. Well, but which leads us to our final recapping my new homebrew, The Path of the Raging Mind Barbarian. All barbarians gain strength from their rage, but why can't that strength be mental as well as physical? This is the Psychic Barbarian. So, starting with level 3, the core feature. Its core feature, Brainstorm. When you enter your rage, the wrathful power that grips your mind manifests itself in a psychic aura, which is capable of mimicking the effects of certain spells. Since its psychic power is mimicking spells and stuff, anti-magic properties and stuff do not affect us at all. Like you can't counter smallness, or if you activate like an anti-magic field, this due to its psychic nature being pure psychic nature is unaffected. Upon entering a rage, you choose from one of the following spells to properties to mimic: Arms of Hadar, Phantasmal Force, uh, Hypnotic Pattern, Confusion, and Hallow. The aura uses the spells, the mimic spells radius, but is always centered on. But the radius is always centered on you. You are unaffected by it, by the way. I forgot to mention. Also, this radius also moves with you, always at the center. And and uses your intelligence for calculating the these. Sorry about that. Timer. Just warning me about something I have to do. What's this? Intelligence. It uses the intelligence for its modifier to calculate DC and stuff. So none of the list of spells have a listed attack or like use spell attack rolls, so it's just the DC. And The aura always behaves as if the mimic spell is cast at a level equal to your PV -1. Starting out, you have level 1 spells, and you would, and it goes up to level 5 with each of these spells being like represent one of the levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though, and in case that, keep in mind though that also means that should you that you're limited to your choice of these spells that are the level of your PV -1 or lower. Like say like you have a PV of a 4, which it would be a -3. You could go Hypnotic Pattern, Phantasmal Force, or Arms of Hadar, but you would not be able to pick Confusion or Hallow. If the Mimic spell has no natural upcast features, then it gains it would be treated as having upcast of increasing the DC by 1 per every level upcast. The aura lasts as long as your rage lasts, but should, however, basically meaning so it's not limited to how long the spell lasts. However, should the rage and effect last longer than the normal duration of the spell, well, then all saves against the effects are at advantage, and all damage is automatically halved from halved, which means it's easier to save. And even if you don't make it, it's half. If you do say and though it makes it easier to make the save, which would probably half the damage anyway. Okay, so that makes it like 4 times weaker. This is especially important because Arms Hagar is an instantaneous and it's just a single attack, basically effect and then over. So it lasts. This is important for balance reasons because how long it lasts. All the damage done by this brainstorm aura is psychic damage, replacing whatever damage the spell might have. Oh, and if the mimic spell is concentration, then the aura itself is concentration, and failing concentration and losing concentration on the effect would also not just end the effect, but also your rage. So there's a risk in that. And then we get to the next. We get at level 6 uncontrolled thoughts. While raging, you are immune to being charmed. Pain at level 10, pain return. Your rage damage now applies to the damage of your brainstorm feature. So you get like the +2 that sort of thing goes to all damage done by that. In addition, anytime you damage a creature that has already damaged you since your last turn, you deal a secondary rage damage to them, another rage damage to them, which is always considered psychic. Finally, at level 14, you got Distracting Wound. Concentrations against damage you deal are at concentration checks from damage that you deal out is made at disadvantage. And okay, with that, I would not end, but however, I have, as I said before, an announcement to make. You know that I've been kind of from last video, if you saw it, that I was disappointed because it's getting to it. I didn't think I'd be able, and I was like saying I was probably be able to go to SuperCon where the cast of Critical Role will be. I can now, as confirm right now that I will in fact be attending SuperCon there, and that my next recap will probably be from the hotel room. So I'm going to see the Critical Role cast in person. There. I'm so excited. I've got to bring some stuff. I may even bring my idea, the notebook I have with ideas for a Transformers TPRG, whatever I end up deciding to name it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. This is Free Rimacha. I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.